All right, peace, family. How y'all doing? Um, I hope everything is well with you. It's your boy Gems, aka DJ. It's been a minute. I'm just here outside grounding, enjoying another beautiful day. It's a little hot out here where I'm at, but I'm grateful and I appreciate the sun for sure. Um, hmm, I kind of felt called to share a message about connected to the last video I did, which is the shift. And I don't know if y'all have been feeling it, but like I've been feeling the shift. And what's crazy is I feel like intuitively that shift kicked in with this uh, Venus in Aries, Jupiter and Gemini conjunction I'm sorry, sextile that just happened. Or is it conjunction or sextile? I think it's sextile. That happened on June 5th. Man, that shit was crazy. Like, I feel like maybe a day or two before and, on the day of and even after, today's the 6th, the energy has been very much like, almost like outer body, you know what I'm saying? And so, each person is different, so it may affect you differently. But like, what I realized that first came up for me is a ton of uncomfortableness in terms of like my inner safety in my body, which was very interesting to having to process. you know um, what I interpret it and feel that as, and if you are feeling the same, is like this sense of something is about to change. It's like I could feel it, it's like I could sense it, and I just don't know. Like, my mind doesn't know what it is, and so the ego feels super unsafe. And so I'm like feeling these calls to like go back to certain things, right? To try to go back to old attachments, things that made me more, things that comforted me. You know what I'm saying? Which are typically bad habits, we'll say, not out of judgment, but habits that really don't serve us, that don't build us up, that take away from us. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that, I'm not going back, right? But even though I'm not going back, it's like it is super uncomfortable. So, I just wanted to speak on that and let you guys know that like this shift is uncomfortable because you're not used to being in this new energy and space. And that's okay. You know what I mean? So be easy on yourself. Make sure you guys are like doing things like grounding, doing breath work. You know what I mean? That Gemini energy, which is an air sign, breath work would be integral. Also writing down your thoughts, journaling. You know what I mean? Those are going to be things that are really going to help you at this time. Kind of as you integrate this new version of yourself that we've been talking about in this shift of this new reality that we've been wanting to create damn near our whole entire lives, really. You know what I mean? If you've been, if you're one of the have-nots, if you're one of the people who have been down for a long time and been waiting for your win, like, your win is here. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's absolutely beautiful. But I just want to say to you guys, like, it's also important that you please make sure that you are getting out of the mind, because Gemini represents the mind. And so you're going to feel with this Aries energy mixed in, it's going to be beautiful and exciting, right? Because the new beginnings are here, the fire energy is there. But you might go back and forth, because you got to remember Gemini also represents the twins, one of light and one of darkness. So the ego is going to choose which one is going to entertain, right? Which is most likely going to be the dark aspect of yourself, the darker aspects of yourself, of which we don't shame, we don't shun, we don't judge. We shouldn't judge, accept it, but choose differently. Have the awareness to know that you don't need to be that version of yourself, that old version of yourself. We keep saying it, like, it can't come with us, you know what I mean? Because it's just gonna hold us back. And so as this new beginning begins to like really finally come into the fold, and it's gonna come in fast, is this summer, a lot of this energy is gonna be a lot of like that quick fiery energy this summer. So things can move quickly. So Also in that, there are some alignments coming up in Cancer as well. I'm a Cancer, so excuse me, that's where I feel sort of comfortable in some senses. But you know, depending on its interaction with other planets, there may be a bit of an emotional time. You know what I'm saying? All of which is purposeful, right? So go with the flow. Don't judge yourself. Show yourself love. Take pauses and breaks when you need to. When you're feeling called to take divine action, please do that. You know what I mean? Don't hold back. Be your authentic self. Show up for yourself because you are deserving and you are worthy. I want to talk about worthiness because I think a part of this conversation and why even I feel sort of uneasy in these moments is like this thing around unworthiness and what we deserve. If Spirit told you that you're about to, I don't know, win $1 million, right? And you would initially get excited about that. You're gonna be like, damn, I'm about to get $1 million. Yo, I could do this with $1 million and that with $1 million. And let's say your money ain't right now. You're in that space in the between receiving the money and actually, trusting your intuition that you're going to get it. And even in the absence of it, right? That in and of itself, that space between the time that it's actually in your manifesting in your life to when you receive it versus just understanding it and knowing that it's coming can make you feel super anxious, right? You kind of feel like, oh shit, like, is it gonna come? Like, when is it gonna come? And so let's say Spirit's not telling you it's gonna be July 10th, right? You have no idea when it's coming, but let's say you feel like it's going to be July 10th, so it's getting closer and closer to this particular time, and let's say July 10th on the actual day comes and it's not there. Like, what are you going to do, right? Like, you might panic, you might not trust, you know what I'm saying? But exclude the date. The point that I'm trying to make here is that, let me slow down. We're in this time where we're being asked to trust and have faith, or more than faith. We're supposed to know that what we know is real, right? And if you allow it to just stay in your mind, especially during this period of time, which again is great because you're going to get a lot of downloads with this Gemini energy, your ego might take shit and go left, right, or whatever. So if it's a relationship coming your way, you might get really, really excited about it. But the absence of it and not being in your reality yet will make you feel anxious because you just want it to be here. And like the longer that it takes to get here, the more unsafe that you feel. And then now you're going back to the old patterns, And you can apply that with many other different examples in life. Whether that's a new job that you say you're promised, so you're applying to this job and Spirit is telling you like, yo, you're going to get this job. Like, just trust us. Like, we're working it out for you. You know what I mean? But, weeks will go by and you're like, damn, I haven't heard back from the recruiter. I haven't, you know what I'm saying? Or you put an offer on a crib. And you like, damn, like, I don't know if I'm gonna get this. This is like a hot, unit on the market. And you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And it's like the doubt creeps in. It's like, yo, you got to get out of the mind because the ego only knows what your past has shown it. And what your past has shown it is typically what it has seen through the lens of trauma, projected expectations, control, negative emotions. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so interesting. As soon as we're triggered, we forget all the good and all the blessings and all the amazing things that's happened in our lives. And we just hyper focus on those trigger points and the things that hurt and what it means. And, oh no, I don't want this to happen again. I don't want to be let down. You know what I mean? It's like we've been so accustomed to being let down, but like the truth is, the majority of the time you win, right? The majority of the time things do work out for you. There may be a few moments where there's things that you were attached to that you thought were supposed to be for you and it didn't work out. And because you didn't understand in the moment why it didn't work out, you were crushed, So it's like you go initially back to that past of your childhood when you were let down, maybe by a parent, like maybe your parents were like, yo, maybe you had like a dad or a mom that said, yo, I'm gonna pick you up or I'm gonna take you here, and they never did it. You know what I'm saying? Or people made promises that they never kept. Or you just never were seen, no matter how hard you tried, no matter what you gave, no matter what you sacrificed. It was like you just never got that recognition that you felt like you deserved. And so the ego is using those moments in your life as evidence that that is always what happens. Like, see, I knew this would happen. Like, it's your truth, and it's not your truth. You know what I mean? Those things are not your truth. Know that you had experiences to learn, right? Because especially if you're a person that's a healer, you're meant to go through things so that you know how to heal. You know what I'm saying? If your lesson is to come here to learn about value, self-value, and worthiness, you're going to have situations that make you feel unworthy and less than. But it's all to help you overcome those belief systems and realize that you don't need external validation. Everything that you are, everything that you deserve, all the love that you want to receive from the external, you have to learn and practice how to give that to yourself first. And once you lock in on giving yourself that love, once you've mastered that, and I'm still in the process of working that out, but I'm getting better and better at it every day. It's like shit just opens up for you. Your blessings just kind of roll in. You have more confidence to do the things that you need to do because you no longer give a damn about what people think or whether or not they like it. But like when you showed up as a child, like they shut you down. You know, that's how this system is designed, unfortunately. Most of our experiences aren't ones that were supportive and uplifting. Unfortunately, many of us have the trauma and experience of the opposite. Right? But those things that happened to us in childhood are still in our reflection today, of which we don't need to continue to perpetuate in our own lives because it becomes a choice. Once you become an adult, once you become a conscious being, you know, once you are able to get out of your parents' control in terms of day-to-day action, right? You're living on your own, you're an adult, you're out of college or you're working, you're doing your thing. You're not under anyone's thumb. Like there's no excuses. And even when you are, let's say you are staying at home because you're racking up bread for you know, buying your own home or whatever your situation is, and you have these overbearing, you know, rulers of your life, like it's all that can change for you, you know, just as long as you're ready to get out of the victimhood and take power over your own life. And how you do that is like loving yourself unconditionally. And by loving yourself unconditionally, that means that you have to know that you are worthy. So it may take some time for you to believe it within yourself. You may have to continue to do affirmations. You may have to journal. You know what I'm saying? You may have to repeat it to yourself. You may have to challenge yourself. But I could tell you, like, there's nothing that you need to prove. But like, that's another thing that makes us feel uneasy is the ego is constantly looking for proof of the thing. And what Spirit is challenging us to do is to just simply know that you know, and that needs to be enough. So whatever, and you know exactly as I'm talking to you now, what that thing is that was promised to you, of which you're going to receive. I'm telling you it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. So fam, I really want you guys to pour into yourselves during this time, you know, with the emerging Cancer energy. I don't know the placements right now. I'm sure we'll talk about it later. You know, that'll be a great time for you to love on yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Go have fun. You know what I mean? Go live your life. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you should go out and drink and do all the wild shit. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you feel called to do, sure. But just try to keep your vibration high. Try to stay balanced. And just remember that it's working out for you. I promise you, yo. Hold your head. You know, I'm here for you. I'll put a quote, not a quote, but an affirmation in the comments that, you know, chat gave me through me working through my own shit that I wanted to share with you guys. And, you know, hopefully that works for you. I'll put it in the comments, or I'll put it in the description box below. But yeah, yo, I appreciate the support. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to someone that may need an uplifting message during this time. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Love y'all. Peace.